One of the most notorious, well-known houses in Greenwich is the Pirate House. It's right in the middle of the town, almost across the street from the Gibbon House. That was built around 1730. Very unique, beautiful home. But a lot of people don't know why is it called the Pirate House. Well, back then, privateers or pirates who roamed the Delaware Bay, they didn't hide. It was almost like an occupation. You had farmers, you had merchants who had the stores, all sorts of different kinds of crafts, shoemakers, and a pirate was simply that, a pirate. He went out of town, he had a boat, usually a crew. They knew the hiding places along the Delaware River and Bay, and they would go out to unsuspecting vessels headed toward Philadelphia, usually wealthy people, and they would make their living that way. Well, John, his last name was Bowen. John Bowen was the captain. That was his home, built in 1730. He lived there, so when he wasn't in his ship with his crew, that's where he was. Right here, dead center in the middle of town, walking up and down the street. Probably went to one of the churches on Sunday morning and sang hymns. And then during the week, he went out into the Delaware Bay and robbed boats and harmed people. There was a lot of pirates that time, a lot of favorite ones to people nowadays when they read about them. The most popular one, or the most well-known, was Edward Teach. And a lot of people say, well, who was Edward Teach? Blackbeard the pirate. There's also tales. He was all over up and down the East Coast, as well as down in the Carolinas. And it's still a legend that there's a box hidden somewheres in the mud out along the Delaware Bay. On low tide, many people have gone out there. People now go out there with metal detectors and they try to find that lost treasure that was never found from Blackbeard the pirate. Now, Captain Bowen, he would take his crew out and they would do their robbing for the day, sometimes only one ship, sometimes two or three. They would come home at the end of the day and they would divvy it up. He was a very fair captain. He would split it even with his crew. They all worked together, they robbed together, and they spent the money together. Well, one time, they came back, they had a nice day, nice catch. They were counting money, and one of his crew members that he didn't know was pretty good at counting. And he watched Captain Bowen as he divvied up the money. But he noticed how it was happening. One for you, two for me. One for you, two for me. Again, one for you, two for me. That's how all the men got paid. So they didn't know it, but he got double what they got. Finally, this mate called him out on it. And then the crew up there and saw the piles that they had, his pile, how big it was. They were very angered by that. They always thought he was an honest captain and he dealt with them very fairly. Well, this didn't happen. They got ropes and they got big anchor chain and they wrapped him up with it. They strung him up in a tree for a while. Then they took the body up into the attic of the house. And they strung his body up, wrapped in chains. And they closed the anchor door. And he never came back again. They left Captain Bowen up there to rot. That's what you get when you cheat your crew, right? Well, nowadays, sometimes when people are taking a walk down the street in the evening, they can swear, and they always swear, that they hear chains rattling. And it's coming from the firehouse up from the 3rd floor.